Hello. Hi. Welcome. Welcome to a stream of Spartan Total Warrior. How are we all? Let me just mute myself. Okay, hopefully less tech issues this time, because last week we tried to play this game. Well, hey, heavy-eyed, how are you, Mitch? Um, Last week I tried to play this game, and it kept freezing, because I'm emulating it. This time, we're trying again. Hopefully it won't keep freezing. I did test it this time. I upgraded my 2-year-old version of PCSX2. That's right, yep. Got roasted a lot for that. I was using PCSX2 version 1.4. This time I'm using 1.7 nightly build or something. And yeah, hopefully this game actually works this time. This game is called Spartan Total Warrior. It was developed by the guys that did all of the Total War games, which is why it's called Total Warrior. um, And the thing about it is it runs on PS2, it runs at 60 frames a second, it puts like a million guys on the screen at once, just like the Total War games did. And it's generally considered to be a very good game, and the reason I'm playing it, part of the reason I'm playing it, is because old mate Tim Rogers, this might turn into a Fast and Furious stream again after 15 minutes, we'll see. Tim Rogers, the guy who used to work for Kotaku and now does the action button videos, he said that this is one of his favorite PS2 games of all time. And so, I played this years ago. I remember it being pretty good. I don't remember it being that good. But I don't remember it that well. So I'm playing it here again to see if it really is one of the best PS2 games of all time. And hello, Trev. Yeah, I remember when I first played this game, people at school really liked it. When I was in high school, there were kids talking about this game a lot. There was a lot of reverence among a few friends of mine. And I never really got it. But I only played this game for a couple of hours the first time around. So, we're revisiting it. We're seeing how good it is. If you're just joining us, we're playing Spartan Total Warrior. And yeah, so last time the game kept freezing. Last week when I tried this, the game kept freezing as soon as I shot an arrow. So this time I hopped in the game. I got an arrow, got a bow and an arrow out. I shot it. The game didn't freeze. So, fingers crossed, I don't just close this and this doesn't just turn into tech issues the stream again. Because that was fun. I bought the Riddick game for Xbox 360 for $20. Very good. We are going for round 2. We're trying this again. Fingers crossed. Yeah, Riddick on Xbox 360 is good. You should start with the remake of Butcher Bay before going on to Dark Athena. Dark Athena is really not that good. I haven't covered it on my channel because I feel like it's just not interesting enough. But yeah, how is everyone? Yesterday I spent some of the day with another YouTuber. I hung out. YouTubers hanging out together. I met up with a guy named Square-Eyed Jack, who you might know. And we had lunch, and that was a bit of fun. Sort of funny meeting people from the online world. I feel like YouTube and real life in my life are so separate. I never have any crossover. I've only been recognized in public. Very rarely. So whenever I meet anyone from YouTube, it's kind of rad. When are we hanging out, Mitch? I'll come over. I'll come to Auckland sometime. Grab a beer. I'm tempted to buy the Simpsons game you reviewed as well. Not as good as Riddick. Yeah, I'm not even sure I'd really recommend it. Did one of you say this is a crossover episode? We didn't. We joked that we should be vlogging our hangout. Should be monetizing every moment of my life as a content creator, honestly. That seems healthy. Pulling up to the Mini-Me stream. Simpsons game worse than the Riddick game confirmed. That's a big statue. So I'm pretty sure these cutscenes are in-engine, which is fairly impressive. Because I think when you hardware render this game in emulators, it looks all flashy. But yeah, Jack and I hung out. We actually went to a video game store in Sydney called the Games Men, which is like Sydney's only major retro video game store. And the prices there were super expensive. It was like you can buy a retro PS2 game that no one cares about for like $30. I'm not going to buy Outlaw Golf on PS2 for $30. So here's the moment of truth. Look at this. The game's not crashing and I'm shooting the bow and arrow. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. That was my first time going there. It sort of works better as a museum than a store. There's some cool stuff. One of the things there, right, if you remember, what's that game called? Tony Hawk's Underground 2. No, 1. Tony Hawk's Underground 1 had this feature where you could plug in a USB camera, and you could map your face onto your created character in Tony Hawk's Underground. So what they did was they sold a box of Tony Hawk's Underground and a USB camera that wasn't the iToy. I think it might have come out before the iToy. Well, it was just like a sort of strange, square, boxy-looking webcam, but you could buy this box that included Tony Hawk's Underground 1 on PS2, and the webcam thing to map your face into the game. And the Gamesmen had a boxed copy of those two things, and it cost $998 to buy Tony Hawk's Underground 1 with a webcam. I don't know if that's a good price for what that is, but game collecting it's a fucked up hobby. It's gone downhill. It was crazy. Some of the stuff there was just so pricey. Like Pokemon games are so expensive now, which I don't get. Because there are millions of Pokemon games out there. Shield Bash, L2 plus X. So this game's almost entirely about crowd control. You've got X as a light attack. Circle is like a heavy attack. Triangle's jump, and this game has a great jump. It just instantly jumps, you don't slow down. Found a Saturn with 8 games at the thrift store yesterday. 125 Canadian. That seems like a good price. But yeah, the thing with game connecting, this heavy attack's great when you're in a crowd. Look at this. Everyone just flies out of your way. Game collecting, I was super into when I was like a teenager, when I lived in a house and not a shoebox apartment. When I had the space for games. And back then, game collecting was cheap. No one cared. Like, I remember picking up like Mega Drives for like $5 at op shops. It was just like, games would just get handed into op shops and you'd just go and buy them for $2 a piece, no matter how rare they were. Now the op shops have cottoned on to the prices of certain games. And people don't trade them in as much because they know they're worth something now. And personally, I blame YouTubers. Like me. Like me covering the Cars game and seeing it go up slightly in price. That's my fault. Damn, I'm not really paying attention. Look at that. Look at that circle button. Finish him while he's down by using Fatality. But yeah, it's a bit depressing knowing that I've like impacted prices of games a little bit. Like, I'm pretty sure I drove the price of the Godfather game up. Sorry about that. PS triple collecting is amazing until you have everything you want except Africa. I was thinking about Africa like yesterday. I was talking to Jack about Africa. I want to cover Africa, but I don't know how to like give it a good title. How do I get people to click on a video about Africa on PS3? If you don't know what it is, it's like, early in the PS3's life, they did a lot of E3 trailers showing off the tech, and one of the games that they would use a lot to show off the PS3's new graphics was a Natsume game called Africa. God damn, is that something I have to do? Or is this just a really long fight? Africa was... I've got to kill the Centurions, don't I? Okay. Africa was basically Pokemon Snap in Africa. Realistic Pokemon Snap. But you could kind of walk around this map and take photos of, you know, safari wildlife in Africa. And it was just a really interesting game. Natsume's Ball and PS Triple launch game. Link's Africa. Let's call it that. You can target enemies simultaneously with your bow. I'm gonna fucking die. Hang on. You've got to hold down square to heal. Damn, this game really comes out the gates swinging. Maybe I should play on easy because I'm streaming. Or because I'm bad, rather. God damn, I gotta kill those archers. Oh, I guess I'm out of ammo. Give me that. Ammo. Loading up my bow with ammunition. I died. I'm gonna restart this game on easy. This is too hard to stream and play and not know how to play. Nah, I'll give it another crack. Actually, nah, easy. Micro asked my crush out and she said yes, but then she never messaged me back and yeah, not to brag or anything. I'm proud of you. It's good to ask. Feels funny being called Micro Me as well. But yeah. Africa on PS3. Interesting game. Go Google gameplay of Africa on PS3 because it's like this hyper-real safari photography simulator that revels in being like boring and slow. It was called Hakuna Matata. Oh, better format my memory card. It was called Hakuna Matata in, I think, Southeast Asia and Australia, so... But it didn't sell very well. You never see the game in stores. I'm not even 100% sure it came out in Australia. Okay, you did see it in random EB bins. Was it called Hakuna Matata or Africa for you? But yeah, it's really like... I don't know how to describe it other than boring. We're playing on easy, boys. It's hyper real in the sense that, you know, you use a camera and just look through a viewfinder and it just shows all that stuff. And you can just hop on your laptop and your laptop just has like a boring laptop interface and you like read emails to get objectives. And you kind of just like drive around in like a Jeep slowly through the hills to take pictures. Yeah, but its big thing was it felt like a tech demo. It almost didn't feel like a real game. It was at like New Zealand game imports are way different. It was called Africa. That's wild. Yeah, it was called Hakuna Matata here, which is weird, right? But yeah, it never felt like a real game. It was at like 2006 E3 when they were showing off the PS3, and it literally felt like a tech demo. And I think people probably remember it as a tech demo, but no, they actually did release it. Yeah, kill the Centurions first, so that's what I should have been doing. It's actually still listed on a game site here, just sold out. Yeah. It's a very uncommon game. I think it only sold like, you know, under 100,000 copies, which is why it costs money now. Alright, can we focus on the Centurions? Can you lock onto them or something? Okay, I should have been using the block button. Lesson learned. So you shield bash him to open him up and then start attacking him. I think what happened before is I didn't kill any Centurions. And all the minions killed my teammates here, which gave me no space to kill the Centurions. I swear I saw stacks of Africa at EB Games in Canada back in the day, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. Maybe they buried them all. Maybe it was a ET 2600 situation. Feels like the type of game I'd spend hours in for no reason. This game or Africa? Which are you talking about? Okay, I'm sort of figuring out the flow of this game. Yeah, the shield bash is so good. Look at this. Look at this. You can just spam it. Oh, finish us. Oh. Nah, yeah, this game feels good. I'm into it. I see why Tim Rogers likes this game. Africa, yeah, okay. Seeing old games explode in price when they aren't good is always weird. Yeah, Africa isn't great. This is like a proto-Hades. This doesn't have a lot to do with Hades. Alright, let's kill this guy. This game's controls are like really responsive. In a way that I'm surprised by, I suppose. Like everything just feels really instant. Get out the bow and start shooting it. The jump button, very immediate. The marketplace for retro collecting seems to just be old equals expensive. Yeah. It's interesting to watch what has gone up. Like Silent Hill's gone up a lot. Resident Evil games have gone up a lot. Like, it's weird to me when popular games go up a lot because like there's millions of copies out there. I guess it's like supply and demand, right? But I don't know. Like the other day I was playing, not playing. I saw Shadow of Destiny. Is that what it's called? Shadow of Destiny? Shadow of Memories. It's called Shadow of Destiny and Shadow of Memories, depending on which country you're in. I saw that at CEX the other day for 60 bucks. And like, I really, really like that game. But I feel like most people wouldn't like that game. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very esoteric, slow-paced sort of video game. It surprises me that... Like, maybe it's my fault because I made a video on it, right? Fucking hell. All my teammates have died, so I'm getting cooked. And this is on easy. Moral of the story is just emulate everything, it's fine, no one cares. Emulation is cool. It's like the best thing to have happened to video games. Oh shit, I did it. Blow up the siege towers. Futurama PS2 is like infinity dollars or anything. I saw that yesterday for like $30. Maybe I should have bought it. But it's like dumb. I don't want to spend money on retro shit. I saw Devil's Third at some point for 30 bucks, and I was like, I know this is gonna go up. I should just buy it. But then my bank account's down 30 bucks for a game I don't really want. It's basically investing in stocks at this point. L2 and triangle. Ooh, that's fun. I've got to protect this guy to get to the siege towers to blow them up. And I'm not doing a bang-up job. Why is he going to this one? Dude, there's one right there. Oh, he's coming back. What's he doing? There we go. Ignite. Ah. Yeah, I'm getting a feel for this game. Everything's really snappy and responsive. I'm glad PS2, PS3 emulation has come a long way. It used to be so spotty. Yeah. I want Xbox original emulation to come good and 360, but it's not great yet. No one wants to spend money on shovelware, but retro game stores make it so tempting. I know what you mean. The Friday the 13th game has started to go up in price since it's going to be delisted. That's sad. Micro here in the States, Futurama is $64 just for the case. Dude, it's really cheap here. Get a PAL version. Or don't get a PAL version. Mod your PS2. And get it to play ISO games off your network. I don't know, it just seems like an annoying trend to support. What the fuck? How did I lose? Okay, at least there was a checkpoint for the bombs. This is on easy. Where is he? I guess my guy died just before he could place. No, I lit the bomb. Damn, he's getting hit. I played Sneak King on Xenia last year and it's incredibly broken. Yeah, I haven't even really bothered to try Xbox emulation. It's crazy to me that PS3 emulation has like come so much further than 360. Because the big narrative at the time was how the PS3 was hard to develop for because it had crazy architecture and a million different CPU cores and stuff. Whereas the 360 was just a PC in a box or something. Damn, this guy's taking a lot of hits. Oh, shit. Is this going to slowly turn into Midnight Club Tokyo Drift like last week? We're actually playing this time, but it turns out I'm terrible at it. 360 architecture is cooked for emulation. It's funny how it flipped over time. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Calvin, makes me nervous how some guys would have gone for a few dollars in a clearance. How some games would have gone for a few dollars in a clearance bin like a decade ago and now getting more expensive because we're getting decades. Yeah. Literally like 2 years ago, I picked up Yakuza 1 on PS2 for $4 at CEX, and then yesterday it was at CEX for $90. Which, you know... Am I just shit at this game? Is this game really hard? I think it's really long too. I think this game's like 30 hours to beat. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm glad there's no friendly fire. I love how you one-hit all these small enemies. Place it. Okay, fuse lit. Cool. One down. That's wild, but makes a little more sense since Yakuza is blowing up in the West and people are trying to relive it. Yeah. Yeah, especially the first game I think makes sense because I had all that voice acting in it, like English dubs that Kiwami doesn't. So if people really want to see Michael Madsen, they can hear Michael Madsen in a Yakuza game. I'm like reading chat less. I want to get this mission done with. This must be the most repetitive stream ever. Okay, igniting this, running away. I think the bomb might have killed my bomb carrier dude or something. Maybe that's why it failed last time. Yeah, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill playing Majima is probably probably more of a draw card than Michael Madsen, who I'm not sure has been a draw card in anything ever. That sucks. Figured those old 360 games would run better on Xenia. Yeah. I tried Instincts through backwards compatible on my Xbox One and it has insane input lag. I think that game might just have insane input lag, rather than it being an emulation's fault. That game's not a good game. Why did you try Instincts? Part of me wants to cover the shitty Far Cry spin-offs. Alright, surely this level's done. Okay, interesting. Maybe this game... So it seems to be, you go from combat arena to combat arena, doing all these objectives, while it runs at 60 FPS and there's a million guys on the screen at once, and it's all about crowd control, and those guys just got wrecked. It's a game problem, yes, there's forums dating back complaining about it, yeah. I can't deal with FPS games that have input lag. I remember when Killzone 2 came out, and the reviews were wild for Killzone 2. It was like a 10 out of 10 across the board. Sony's FPS masterpiece on the PS3. R1X for rage moves. Ooh, look at this. Shit. That's a bit of fun. So the sword has to be glowing. Killzone 2 on PS3 had so much input lag that it was like borderline unplayable. I don't understand how, like, how it was such a revered game at the time, and how people even, like, played the multiplayer in that game without just, like, raging. Not sure what my objective is here. Dude, do all these guys have names? Oh my god, they do. Look in the top right. Everyone you kill has a name. Cassius Lappius. Julianus Albinus. That's lovely. Killzone the Halo Killer. Conduit was a Halo Killer as well. On Wii. And Haze was a Halo Killer. Red Steel, I think, might have been a Halo Killer. What are some other Halo Killers? That was a good term. That was a good mid-2000s. Darkness 2, a vast improvement on the first game. I didn't really enjoy it. I don't love the Darkness games. I know people really like them. I think the first one's more interesting, but the second one plays better. Oh my god, I was talking about the Conduit the other day. Looking back at the marketing, it was so funny. It's all about the fidelity. Yeah. Yeah, the Conduit's crazy. It really was like, here's our premier Wii FPS game. Look at the crazy graphics. And like, back in those days, you'd have kids that only had a Wii, and they'd be hopping online being like, yeah, dude, the Conduit's basically, it basically looks like Halo 3. Just Halo 3 on the Wii. What's the problem? Radial Rage move. Look at this. Okay, that didn't work. I missed. I played through Red Steel last week because I want to do a video on it. And I think Red Steel 1 is like legitimately one of the best looking Wii games to ever have been made, which is interesting because it's a launch game. And reading the previews for Red Steel 1, I think what happened is the developers didn't know what the power of the Wii would be. There was an IGN article previewing Red Steel where they sent their writer out to Paris to play it at Ubisoft Paris, which is interesting, right? Like, back in the day, back in the like .com boom era, IGN would ship their writers around the world to preview video games, whereas writers now are just like getting fired, getting laid off. But yeah, they shipped a writer off to Paris to play Red Steel, and they had two different builds of Red Steel that they could play. One of them was one of the builds that they had pre-release for Red Steel was running on a modified GameCube dev kit that Nintendo were telling them could play Wii games, could act as a Wii dev kit. So they had that build, which was a bit uglier, obviously, and then they had the PC build, which had great graphics. Because I think the developer thought surely the Wii wouldn't just be as powerful as the GameCube was. So they made Red Steel look really, really nice for the upcoming new hardware. And then it turns out the Wii basically is a GameCube, an overclocked GameCube, hardware-wise. So Red Steel looks really, really great, but it runs at like 20 frames a second. Because I think the developers at Ubisoft Paris thought that the Wii would be more powerful than it is. Oh shit, I guess I was meant to protect the gates. New video, 10 graphically impressive Wii games. Which kind of Red Steel player are you? I don't know what you're asking. That dev kit and build need to be leaked. Thank you. I love the mustache. For a second, I thought you were talking about the Red Steel tie-in game. Protect King Leonidas? Protect the gates. Alright. Now I know what I'm doing. I should read. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. The Wii's interesting. Early Wii games are interesting. And Red Steel is interesting. The reason I want to cover Red Steel is because the hype for that game was really, really big, because at the time no one knew the limitations of the Wii. It kind of felt like... It kind of felt like Red Steel could be, like, the next step for FPS games for a moment there. So I've got to both protect this gate and protect the king. Which seems like a big ask. And then Red Steel came out and it was a disappointment. But I think it does some things really well. That I want to talk about. So you seem to shield bash to clear out some space to get a few kills, and then shield bash. I think that's the kind of basic loop. Like, I don't know how I can be doing a better job protecting this gate. Look how many dudes are on the screen. The Wii came out at an unfortunate time where every game had single brown color palette and bloom everywhere, so it made games look so much worse. Yeah, maybe. I think most Wii games were aimed at a really young audience, so they didn't suffer from that. I think the bloom in Red Steel 1 is nice too. I think it gives it a distinctive look. It's funny because if they just waited and released a game that was like Red Steel 2, it would have carried that hype so much further. Yeah. So I think Red Steel 1 sort of plays to like the Wii's ambitions more than its limitations, whereas Red Steel 2 sort of... Red Steel 2 knows what the Wii can and can't do, so it makes the most of that, whereas Red Steel 1 is like, the Wii can do anything! We can do anything with these new controls! So they try and do anything, and it just doesn't work. Does the motion flash controller make Red Steel control better? I don't think so. Because they didn't know it existed while they programmed that, right? And Red Steel 2 is interesting because it's a pretty good game. And it was obviously greenlit because Red Steel 1 sold a heap of copies, like sold really, really well. But Red Steel 2, even though it got good reviews, sold really poorly. I imagine because everyone played Red Steel 1 and just didn't really like it. And by the time Red Steel 2 came out, the Wii was kind of dropping off amongst the hardcore gamers. Remember when everyone used to say hardcore and casual? I remember rage quitting Red Steel 1 after it made me pick up a phone, but the motion wouldn't register. I protect the gate and the king died. I actually like both Red Steels for what they are. The first was like a John Woo, Kinji Fusak. Yeah. I like the first one a lot. But not in a like, I would recommend this kind of way. The first one has this really, really surprisingly elegant sort of thematic duality where, you know, you've got like the gun and the sword, and then they've got like traditional Japanese settings and modern Japanese settings, and then they've got traditional Japanese and modern Japanese music. And it kind of like has this through line of mixing in the old and the new, aesthetically and gameplay wise, that I think is really, really effective and compelling. But then the story in Red Steel 1's absolutely terrible, so it kind of undermines all of that. Just gonna spam heavy attack. It's my new strategy. And protect the king wherever he is. I guess I should go back and forth. He looks fine up there. Should do a video on Far Cry Vengeance. Yeah, maybe. Let's do one of these. Look at me go. Ah, oh, lovely. Funnily enough, I think probably the best FPS games on Wii are the Call of Duty games. The aim down sights in those COD games worked really well on Wii. And felt better. Oh, maybe the Conduit's better. The Conduit's alright. There's not a lot to say about the Conduit. The marketing was more interesting than the game. I was reading some trivia, and apparently Human Shrek was modeled to look like Mike Myers. I believe it. I better go protect the king. Where is he? Yeah, old mate's getting wrecked up here. Why are there like no teammates here? And why is the king like on the wall attacking? Why isn't he hanging out near the gate with the rest of us? And now the gate's gonna die? Hang on. Is this game super hard? What's going on? Alright. I gotta do everything I can to protect this gate at the moment. Guess I don't have any bow and arrow. Look at the gate's health. What am I meant to do? Pull the lever. Pull the lever. Oh. I saw the lever I was meant to pull. I didn't pull it. Has anyone played that weird Wii exclusive Dead Space game? I have. Extraction? Yeah, it was called Extraction. Extraction. Okay. Protect the gates until that lever opens, then open the lever. Yeah, that Wii Dead Space game is like an okay light gun game. But light gun games on the Wii feel kind of gross. Like, playing House of the Dead on Wii is the worst way to play House of the Dead. And I think the problem with Dead Space Extraction, more than anything else, was it had a really bad frame rate. Which in a super, like, snappy light gun style game is just a terrible thing. Link's crossbow training was solid. Link's crossbow training was solid, I suppose. The whole launch lineup of Wii games is kind of goofy. Like, Wii Sports is good, everything else, I don't know, man. Wii Play? Do you remember Wii Play? I think Wii Sports is one of the best games ever made, really. When you think about, like, the reach that game had. How anyone could just hop in and adore a bit of Wii Sports. Playing bowling with your grandma. This game's neat. I'm bad at it, but this game's neat. I'm impressed. I can see why someone would love this game. I think the enemy count alone for the PS2, like, there's more enemies on the screen than there is kilobytes of RAM on the PS2. I love how we're playing this game, we're talking about the Wii the whole time. You know what? Let's take a moment to look at the Wii launch games. I'm curious. I'll get them up on the screen. Sorry for this goofy. I'm emulating. Do you like my Windows? No one commented on this last time, but I have a Windows Vista background on Windows 11. It's very anachronistic. Wii launch games. Nintendo Wii launch games. Let's go through them. Hang on. I agree to the cookies. All right. Here we go. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I didn't play. That's a goofy. I'm gonna call that goofy. Barnyard is goofy. That's a really funny game. So the thing about Barnyard is it has like a 24-hour time. It's like Shenmue, like time passes in real time and you kind of have to like optimize your day while talking to like the farm animals, which is kind of crazy. Call of Duty 3, which plays a bit better than Red Steel probably. Cars, a good game. A game that's changed my life. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Don't know what that is. Excite Truck. Excite Truck. Is this like an Excite Bike sequel? I don't know what this is. I'm sure it's great. The graphics actually look really good. I reckon this game is another victim of the developer thinking that the Wii would have better graphics than it did. GT Pro Series. Don't know what that is. I think it's a Ubisoft racer. Happy Feet. Cool. Madden NFL 07, of course. Okay, spiritual successor to Excite Bike. I'm into that. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, a pretty good game. Metal Slug Anthology is cool. Doesn't feel like it has anything to do with the Wii's controls. Monster 4x4 World Circuit. What's this? Oh, this game's terrible. I've played this. I think I had Monster 4x4 Arena. Is that a game? Yeah, I had... No, okay, this is something else. I had this game. This was one of the first Wii games I ever got. Goddamn terrible. Don't recommend it. Low frame rate. Felt horrible. Don't know why there were so many monster trucks around like 2006. Open Season, which is great because it's easy to confuse with Barnyard. I think it was just sort of like a linear 3D platformer. Fishing makes sense for the Wii. Raving Rabbids, that's a pretty big launch game. Red Steel. SpongeBob SquarePants Creature from the Krusty Krab. I don't know what that is. Let's find out. Okay, it was on PS2 as well. Looks like some sort of 3D platformer. I don't know. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Super Monkey Ball would be alright. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Which Lawrence gave a 9.9. Shout out Lawrence. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Double Agent. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. Trauma Center Second Opinion. Wii Sports. IGN gave it a 7.5, but Lawrence disagreed. Old mate Larry was like, fuck off IGN. Loz was given it an 8.9. Which I reckon Wii Sports is a fucking 10. And everyone who didn't give it a 10, they're wrong. And then World Series Poker. That's goofy. I don't think that 3/4 of these games are winners. Whoever said that, you're wrong. That is a goofy list of launch games. And I think from the outside in, the only ones to really get excited about that weren't cross-platform were probably just Red Steel, Twilight Princess, unless you played that on GameCube, I guess, and Wii Sports. It's amazing that the Wii was a massive success. I said that, and goofy games are sometimes great. Yeah, you're right. I think it's a goofy lineup. A lot of licensed stuff, a lot of cheap, just chuck on our PS2 game on here. But yeah, that's a weird list of games. Twilight Princess was the killer app. Twilight Princess was the killer app for like for us gamers. Because it's a good game. But I think the killer app for like parents and grandmas and young children was Wii Sports. I gotta go. Oh, the king isn't even being attacked. Why is he on such low health? Did he win? Did he beat everyone? Can I open these guys? Yes, here we go. First wave of Wii, then sports caught on later. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, when the Wii came out, no one was initially talking about Wii Sports like week of. Like, they were saying, like, this is a cool, you know, demo for what the Wii can do. And then over time... Am I really bad at this? Do I have to pull that lever earlier? It was definitely Wii Sports. My grandparents had a Wii 3 years before I did. Yeah. At the time, the Wii was like you would... I don't know, I guess... It was surprising the people that bought the Wii that never bought any other console. The Wii managed to appeal to way more people than... or way more types of people than any other console before it. Types of people is a weird phrase. Way more demographics. So can I open the gate right now? I can. So does that just give me... This is probably why I've been failing so hard. Is there another gate over here? I guess not. I have a love-hate relationship with the Wii. I really like the Wii. Sort of can't get the experiences on the Wii, or you can't get those Wii experiences anywhere else, I guess. God damn. People keep turning up and you keep letting them out to help. I still have like 4 Wiis and random boxes all modded to emulate different consoles back when EB flicked them off for $50. Yeah. I get that. I ended up buying a Wii U to play Wii games because I wanted HDMI out. When I probably should have just installed HDMI out on a Wii. I should be blocking more. Yeah, you gotta mod a Wii to get the most out of it as well. And you gotta mod a Wii U to get the most out of it too. Thankfully it was like extremely easy to mod a Wii. Well, not mod, software mod, you know. Yeah, it's kind of wild how easy it was to homebrew a Wii. Yeah, it was just like... I don't know, I guess... I wonder if, like, Nintendo's hate for, like, emulation and piracy and all that sort of thing started with all the Wii homebrew stuff. Like, they would have seen all that online and be like, God damn it. We're gonna crack down on this. And at the moment, I reckon they're really upset by, how people can emulate Switch games. Like, as soon as... Tears of the Kingdom comes out and everyone's like, yeah, dude, you can play it on PC at 4K at 60, it's great. And then Nintendo respond by being like, that's it, we're patching the 3DS, so it's harder to hack. Like, alright. I better go protect the king. He's fine. He's good. We're looking good. This is going well. Just had to let these guys out. Turns out it wasn't anything I was doing. There we are. Victory. Are we good? Metroid Dread ran so much better on PC than Switch. Yeah. It's sad, right? Like, well, it's not sad, it's fine. It's just one of those things. Why can't I print these on? There we go. Look at these spectacles. Is this a good game? This is a good game. It's surprisingly involved in a way I didn't expect it to be. Which makes it harder to stream. I'm not sure what I'm meant to be doing. I was thinking of covering this game, but I'm not sure if I will. I think for these streams that I do once a week, a lot of the time it's going to be a game that I'm thinking about reviewing to see if it's like interesting enough for me to talk about for, 10, 20 minutes. I think this game's really elegantly put together, but I'm not sure it's interesting enough for me to say a lot about, but maybe it is. I'd love to play games, Switch games on native hardware, but it's just so difficult knowing you can get better easily, yeah. Yeah. It's a weird thing because even though all this news is coming out about how, Switch games can be played at 4K 60 or 4K 120 really easily, just emulate them on your PC. Hey Matthias. Hello again, welcome back. Nintendo's bottom line is so strong. Like, Switches just sell. They don't have to make a fancier Switch. It doesn't matter. Nintendo are doing fine. So it's just a bit like, where's their motivation to make something that, runs their games better? When they're just setting records with the Switch every month.
If they find one, they'll break through and swarm all over us like ants on a lion. What? What's happening? Look out, report!
I guess that dude's moving? Is this game... Yeah, right. This game's a little supernatural. I was wondering how fantastical this game would get. Fire these catapults when they're loaded. I love playing Tears on my couch in handheld mode. It's worth a dip from not doing it otherwise. Yeah, fair enough. I've never been someone that cares a lot about video game performance. I remember a couple of years ago I had heaps of trouble. I had heaps of trouble running Jade Empire on PC. It just like, I couldn't get it working right. So I just happily played it on Xbox. Like original Xbox. I was just like, whatever, I'll play this game at 20 frames a second at 480i. It doesn't bother me. Use the cauldron? Yeah, Jade Empire on PC sucks. Jade Empire is a really cool game though. I think it's like one of BioWare's best. Activate the first catapult. Is this the first catapult? Yeah, cool. Thankfully it's backwards compatible. Yeah. Yeah, the backwards compatibility stuff on the new Xboxes is awesome. I really, really like the Series X. I know that, like, I'm praising Microsoft. I think the Series X is a fantastic little console, but, Microsoft can't make good games apparently, so, it's a bit like, while I think the Series X is a better console than the PS5 in basically every way, it's not because the games are worse. So it's just a bit... I already have a Switch, but annoyingly I'm insanely sensitive to frame drops, so it's hard to stomach a lot of the games on it. That sucks. Love your Deftones profile, Olive. Oh, nice, yeah. I graduate next week, and July will be amazing. Congratulations. I'm very happy for you. That's a huge achievement. Finishing a degree or a course. It's funny. All the other objectives have been sort of vague, so I've just been failing them, whereas this one's just a guy yelling in my ear exactly what I should be doing, so I'm doing it. Series SX with Game Pass is such an affordable console for regular consumers who just want a game. Yeah, exactly. I think, yeah, I think that, you know, Game Pass is a better deal than the PlayStation thing generally. The online seems more smooth on Xbox. The UI is better, which is funny. Like, the way that PlayStation puts everything in a row annoys me, and you have to like scroll all the way to the side and click all games, or go up and find your apps, whereas Xbox, it's like, click down to hit your games, go right to find your recent stuff. Everything's right there. Or like how you hold down the middle button to turn off the Xbox, but you hold it down on PS5 and nothing happens. You have to press it once and then go down and then go all the way to the right and then press power and then go up and then turn it off. I think, yeah. And also, auto-updating works a lot better on Xbox. Like, the game will automatically update your games while in standby, whereas the PS5 claims to, but often doesn't, and you'll boot up a game and it'll be like, oh, sorry, you have an update. And you'll be like, what? I think they've really done a bang-up job with the series consoles, but then Microsoft will release Redfall, and you'll be like, what the shit? I wish this was, you know, God of War, Ragnarok, or whatever. Finally beat the level. And I scored 6 tokens, whatever that means. We'll check out this next level, and then we'll call it a day on this stream. Thanks for joining me. Despite our defeat of the mechanical man. I wonder... Yeah, I wonder how fantastical this game is. Was that mechanical man trying to be sold to me as a big robot, like a big machine? I should have upgraded my health and damage then, but I didn't. Will you ever cover the Gollum game? Man, will I cover the Gollum game? I was thinking about covering the Gollum game before it came out, but I was away. I was in Fiji when it came out, which meant I couldn't. But it's just so bad, man. Like, not that I've played it, but damn, that game looks bad. And I know the games that I cover are often really shoddy, but they often have redeemable features. Hey man, first time watching a stream, love your videos. Also, first time seeing you, that mustache rocks. Thank you. The mustache is fun, because it's a bit ridiculous looking, and I like looking a bit silly. I think you covering the old Lord of the Rings games would be great, like The Hobbit. Yeah. Yeah, The Hobbit's an interesting one. I'd like to do the Fellowship of the Ring game, which wasn't based on the movie, it was based on the book. Looks can be deceiving. Come on, it looks fun. Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. I shouldn't judge it before I've played it. I will play it sometime and then decide if I cover it. This game's visuals are kind of awesome. For this to run as smooth as it does, with as many enemy units as it does, with all these lighting and fog and bloom and effects going on. Doesn't look like much now, but on the PS2, this is kind of incredible. You give off cool bassist vibes. I do play guitar. I don't play bass. I can play bass because I can play guitar, but you know. Not me, mustaches are overrated. You'll come around, I agree. I don't have like a full-blown mullet to go with my mustache. It's kind of just long hair all around, just a mop at the moment. But I feel like the mustache mullet thing, you know. I've got to have a point of difference. Imagine playing bass. I don't know. It's weird. I play guitar so I can like kind of play bass, but I don't want to call myself a bass player because a 6-string guitar just has the top 4 strings is a bass. I don't know. When's the Esche bra phase? Yeah, next time. I'll get my Adidas shit out. Cigarette behind the ear. Hang out at train stations. White couch, slicked backed hair, white Lamborghini. You would have not liked me back then. What am I doing? Fucking hell. You look like the bassist of a 90s pop punk or grunge band. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Can I shoot an arrow at an explosive barrel? Can't seem to like lock onto it. Fuck it. Okay. Not what I was expecting. What do I do? Is there a... I just killed someone in there. Oh hey, there's people in there. You look like if a bassist and Weird Al had an offspring. I think the glasses help with the Weird Al thing, because I've got like these aviator-shaped... Because someone told me I look like Weird Al the other day. It's funny, every time I see a friend, I look like... I have this group of friends that I see every 6 months. Maybe I need these fire arrows to blow up the barrels. And every time I see these friends, I look a bit different. Last time they told me I look like Daniel Radcliffe's portrayal of Weird Al, which I'm happy about. There we are. You look like you could be the bassist for Weird Al or The Offspring. That's what I just read. Streaming's harder, right? This is like my 4th stream. This level seems a little more atmospheric, a little more gloomy. This game is really polished. I'm surprised this wasn't like a more well-known game. It's not a very high-profile game. Streamer brain is real. It is. I'm surprised Mini-Me isn't just disembodied eyes. Yeah. I don't get on camera much. When I was talking to Square-Eyed Jack yesterday, he was telling me all these stories of how many times he's been recognized in public. And it seems like it's been a fucking lot of times. Look at this. Get him. That's amazing. Yeah, it seems like Square-Eyed Jack gets recognized all the time in public because he's on camera all the time. And like, he has a smaller channel than mine, which makes me think if I was on camera a lot, how much would I be recognized? And I don't think I'd enjoy it. I don't love when my YouTuber life intersects with my real life. This is the weird, embarrassing, nerdy thing I do online. I cover children's games on the internet. I've had it twice and both times it was wild. I was way too drunk to handle it. Dude, yeah. I had it once happen at the gym, which was weird. Because, like, you'd say hi, and they'd be like, hey man, love your videos. And it's cool, normal conversation, whatever. But then you're both just still at the gym. You know? You just go back to your weights, just across the room from each other. You're like, god damn. I want to see what PAX last year, but someone had to be sick. Yeah. Me? PAX is good because it's like an environment where I'm in the zone to interact with people who know who I am. If it happens randomly in public, I'm a bit like, man, I don't know about this. But if you do see me in public, do say hi. Despite everything I just said. It's better than recognizing me and not saying hi, I suppose. Press square to contaminate the water. Damn, this is some Teflon shit. Can I hop in? Oh. Damn, I almost died.
This way.
Is there a shrine anywhere?
I'll take care of
You know what? I might wrap this up. Good on you, mate. Let's call it a day. Let's call it a day for Spartan Total Warrior. Low-key was hoping he was going to piss in the water. Kind of was too. That's Spartan Total Warrior. Hope you enjoyed this quick stream. I do this every Thursday if you want to join in. I'm impressed. I don't think it's a game I will have enough to say about if I wanted to make a video about it. The reason I'm playing this, as I said, was because Tim Rogers of Action Button and Kotaku fame said this is one of his favorite games ever on PS2. And I get why, but it's not sort of a game that is complex enough to say a lot about, I suppose. It's just like a really fun, really polished, crowd control, surprisingly difficult hack and slash game. A very, very, very solid. I don't know if it's by the numbers hack and slash just because the crowd numbers are so enormous. It's almost a closer game to like Dynasty Warriors. But yeah, it's fine. It's good. There's a game I want to play. I think it's called Swords of Destiny on PS2. If we're thinking about the tier of random PS2 game I want to play on these streams, which I think is like a Devil May Cry ripoff. Would you bundle these? Not much to talk about videos, not much to talk about games, and make like a bundle video? Yeah, maybe. The thing is, I have like a lot of ideas for videos and not enough time to make them. So there's a lot more interesting things that I'd like to talk about before I'd get around to doing anything like that, I suppose. But maybe, you know. But it's fun. Go Spartan Total Warrior. Anyway, thank you for joining this stream. It's been wonderful. It was good seeing you here, Mitch, and everyone else. You're all the best. Take care of yourselves. And yeah, next week around the same time, probably another random PS2 game. Maybe Driver 3. We'll see. Goodbye.